How come it's not?
Hey.
Hello?
Is he speaker?
Yeah, hold on. Let me put in your speaker. Okay, there you go.
Hey, Mike.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm still getting set up, but I told you to, because I'm using my phone to go live. And, all right, so, hi, Sharon. All right, so we're still setting up. How's it going, Mike? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Mike?
Oh, what happened? Oh, shoot.
Mike?
Hello?
Hello?
What happened? Oh.
Mike?
We had him.
I don't know why it wouldn't. Can you hear me and I can't hear him?
We had him for a second.
Can you hear me, Mike?
No, try calling back.
Maybe he put himself on mute by accident. I don't know.
Can you see us?
I could see us now.
Why are you trying to look all cute? I saw you posing.
Oh no, Mike.
All right, hold on. We did have him, and then something happened.
I mean, we were able to hear him. It's still going.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like still going, but I'm gonna.
let me move us back so we can see us.
All right. Well, I can't hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me, so I'm gonna hang up on you. Call us back, okay?
No, yeah, we're gonna call Mike back. Just see if we can call him back.
Yeah, hopefully he answers. Where does he live in
North Carolina.
Yeah, what town? I wonder if it's on the boonies.
Answer or decline the incoming call before
Oh,
making a
he's
call.
calling you back.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey,
got
can you
us?
hear?
Hey, you got the man answering.
All right, we're gonna put you up. Let me make sure everybody in Facebook world can hear you. Say hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Let me know if you guys can't hear or can hear or whatever, so that we can. So finally, I'm getting
Finally, how you doing?
good. How are you? How's North Carolina?
Oh, it's doing great. It's still here. We're getting summer days one day, and next day it's freezing.
Oh,
Really?
That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know,
Crazy weather.
Rob wants to move down there, so.
Well, it's a good place. I love living here. I've been here 27 years, so you couldn't get me to move back up north.
Where are you originally from, Mike?
Long Island, New York.
Wow. So going from New
Yeah.
York to North Carolina, it
That's
was probably a huge. You had to like adjust.
Big time.
For me, it wasn't bad. I love it because I grew up in New Hampshire, so it was, I always had a country life. My wife, it took her a long time to get used to it.
Oh wow.
I bet.
It's a culture shock for sure.
It was. It probably took her 12 years to get used to it.
Wow.
Wow. Does she love it
But now she
now?
realizes how good it is to live here.
I guess so.
Well,
So how you guys doing?
we're doing good. We are doing very good.
Good. I can't see you on Facebook. I'm trying to find you.
Okay.
On the Brew?
Yeah, I'm on the Brew page,
Yeah.
and I don't see you. I
So
don't see you live.
you don't see the live video?
Mm-mm.
He's like the page, yeah.
No, he likes- you like the page.
Because Anthony's on it right now, so I see it right now.
It should say happening now.
Yeah, like if you scroll, I think if you scroll down or something like that, it'll say like
Let's see.
live now or something.
Oh, gallery. It's funny because I never go on Facebook on my laptop. I'm always on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
And it says happening now.
Everybody
That's
say
okay. I'll just talk to you anyway.
okay.
Yeah.
So, you are a man of many. You dabble in a lot of stuff there. You
I
have-
sure do.
Yes. One thing.
Loaded question. Right.
One thing I absolutely love is the Heritage Society that you're into, and I know you started that back in 1992. But can we go back further than that? I mean, did you start?
Oh, sure.
Can you
Yeah,
tell me when you started?
It's the Heritage Hunter Society. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I started. Well, my first experience was in 1978 when I was 14. I never had any experiences growing up as a kid, and didn't grow up in a haunted house, even though my house was 1928, and I didn't even realize it back then. But I had learned about recordings back then through Hans Holzer, reading some of his books at 14, and I tried it. I saw something that said, try this and do this, and I did that, and I actually captured an amazing thing on this reel-to-reel, and it was definitely a spirit, and it was loud, and it wasn't even recorded through a microphone. It was actually recorded through static, plugged into a radio that you turn it down to zero, down to pure static, and I captured something, and that's what got me started at 14.
Wow.
And all these years later, I'm still at it. That's where I started. You know.
All right, wait. Let me just ask you this before I ask you my next question.
Sure.
So, were you at 14 years old? Did you ever hear about? I'm going to say the movie because off the top of my head I can't remember her name in real life, but the movie The Entity.
Oh yeah, I was into all types of. I loved all the horror movies and the TV shows that were based on paranormal, creepiness, the Addams Family and the Munsters and the Ghost of Mrs. Muir, that I grew up with. So I loved ghosts even before I ever realized that they were real.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was 14 that I had that experience with recording, and I had bought a $700 reel-to-reel at age 14. I was insane. I don't know why I did it. I was
How the heck
starting
did
out
you do
musician.
that at 14?
I did that at 14, cutting people's grass, shoveling
Wow,
sidewalks,
look at you,
everything.
dedicated.
I mean, I rode around on a bicycle with my shovel to shovel snow. And just saved up. Back then, you could go into a store and give them $10 and just keep coming back until you paid it off. And that's what I did. And I got this reel-to-reel that's a Pioneer reel-to-reel, very high quality. I own it still to this day.
Wow.
It still works.
Do you use it?
Oh, yeah, I used it after I read this article through Hans Holzer, who I didn't even know who he was at the time. I just read about New England and about this ghost story that was up there. And after the article, it had just a small little paragraph in the back about how to record ghosts. And I was like, wow, what's this, So that's what I did, and I captured it, and it put me on this path all these years. And I still have that recorded to this day.
Wow, that's pretty cool. The only reason I brought up The Entity because The Entity was, first of all, the scariest movie. Like, that movie literally to this day, even though it was made in the 70s, scares me to this day. That is the most scariest movie I've ever seen. And it's based on true events. So this woman, they had, for real, psychologists coming in. They had parapsychologists. They had coming into this woman's home. They recreated her house. Like, it was a big deal back then. You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah,
that to me was pretty cool.
Where was it based out of?
She moved around. She moved 5 different times, I think, to try to get away from whatever was attacking her. And I think the last place that she lived was Texas. And up until she died, it followed her. The attacks didn't happen as often. I think it went down to maybe once or twice a year. But yeah, even when she was living in Texas, she claimed it was still happening,
Oh yeah, I believe that totally. And those old movies are great because they were really based on real stories, and not like nowadays with everything. You don't know what's real and what's not. So
Doris
it's totally different. Even the Amityville Horror, even though there's so many different things that people believe or don't believe, they made so many things about it. So
you have to watch that movie and then tell me what you think, because that movie is insane. And it's crazy. Like, the evidence that they had captured back then, I could only imagine what we could have did now with,
Oh, yeah.
you know. But you bring up Amityville Horror, the same thing too. Chris Tarantino, who was Chris Lutz back then,
Right. Yes, I've met him.
Yeah, he was at a Phenomenology, and I talked to him for about an hour, and it was one of the most intense conversations I've ever had. I mean, he said that it was nothing like the movie, and that's what they all say, right? Like Andrea Perron says that The Conjuring wasn't like that, you know.
Exactly.
It's all entertainment, you know.
It was haunted. You know, the places they lived were haunted, but the events just, you know, weren't weren't true.
Dramatic.
That's what Hollywood does. They ruin it. They take a little bit of a true story and they make it so fictitious, you know.
Yeah. All right. So here you are, 14, buying recorders, and you get this awesome recording. Now, how were your parents about all of it?
Well, it's funny. I captured this recording, and it was a man. I almost thought it was a plane going down because this man was yelling and screaming at the top of his lungs for like bloody mercy, and freaked us out. And like I said, this was not recorded through a microphone or anything like that. So it was wild. We definitely knew it was something to it that was real. Me and my best friend John Brennan listened to it, blew our minds. I remember I brought my dad in to listen to it, and he wasn't into any of this stuff, and he listened, and he kind of got like freaked out and just left. He said, "No, that's not real." Out the door he went. Through the years, like I said, my family's never been really into the paranormal. Just living normal lives and this and that. And then as I got into this years later, into 2000 and up, started in 1992 when I moved here in North Carolina. They've always been supportive in this, but they really didn't know anything about it. So they figured, it must be something real. I mean, I'm so passionate about it. So now my dad has passed on, and my younger brother's passed on, and I've actually had experiences with them and captured recordings of them. So that's pretty wild to me.
That's
wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my mom is learning about it, and she's very interested, and my other brother is interested. I have two sisters that they're not interested in all. They don't want to know anything about it. They are scared of it, and there's no medium place for them with that. And that's very common in a lot of families, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And my boyfriend's not into it at all. He'll go to events like if we need help or this and that, and he'll go and hang out. But if we have investigations, whatever, I mean, he's rarely on the brew. I'm like, yes, you're my number one supporter. Woo! Say that jokingly. But he's just not into it.
But he goes with you. Hey, he went to the old gun church, right?
He did. He thought that was really. He thought that was.
Wasn't that a cool place?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So when we were in North Carolina, Mike goes, I got this.
Yeah, tell Sabrina about that place.
Oh my gosh, it was insane.
Really?
And it said no trespassing, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I was, and you automatically in my head, I'm thinking I'm gonna get shot. You know what I mean? Because down there, you think down there you're allowed to get shot.
Automatically, you're allowed to get guns.
Yeah. But whatever. So we go. This church, it's like it's beautiful. It is the most beautiful ruins I've ever seen. Like the church is gorgeous, but it's just the front
I remember
part.
the pictures.
Yeah, but on the property, like I get on the property, and you can just. And you know me, I'm not like that. Like, but as soon as I got on there, I could just feel. I felt like I was being watched. I felt like I was hearing whispers over where the graves were. So I wanted to go over there, but I didn't. You know what I mean? Like I was. I don't want to say I was afraid, but something was like, just stay right in your spot. You're safe right here.
Yeah.
And Rob didn't get out. If he was walking around with me, I probably would have,
Yeah. Or if you were with me, I'm like, come on, let's go.
Yeah. And then Mike said he had gone out there after, right, Mike? And you heard he heard like similar stuff that I heard.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just a beautiful old church, and it's just a steeple was left. So the entire church is gone. And it's just a steeple standing there, and you can actually walk inside it and look up. And I actually went inside it, and I was afraid something was, because I always think that spirits might knock something loose and knock a cinder block loose and hit you in the head, So you have to be really careful. you just don't know. But it's a really interesting site. Yeah, I wish I could go out there at night and sit there for a few hours and record. But you know, I try and respect you know, the things of trespassing and things like that.
Yeah, I know. I always say that. I always like
Yeah, the
when I do.
badasses like you out there, those are the ones we got to worry about.
I'm always like when I'm on my live videos, I'm like, disclaimer: don't do this just because I'm doing it. We're not supposed to do this, you know.
Yeah.
So what I was saying was, Sharon just said, Taryn in North Carolina, that's too far from Gettysburg, which is true.
Yeah.
Totally true. But anyways, so you're 14 and you said now so did you just stop like school and life and stuff, or did you like try to do a paranormal group? Did you try to get people?
No, because back then there weren't any groups. I mean, and there was no such thing as the internet. There was no computers yet. You know, we had TV shows to base our things on. But I would always, growing up in New Hampshire, in New England over the summers, I always would wander to different abandoned places, always attracted to them, and I read all of those books I could of the times. You know, I lived in libraries and always would read as much as I could.
That's awesome.
And then as I got older, once I drove, then we started going out and looking for places. But we always went to historical places. Growing up on Long Island, we had a lot of places to go. We used to hang out at Teddy Roosevelt's house a lot, over there in Oyster Bay, and he had his summer home there. So that was a really cool place to go, and it was always empty. Whenever I would go, there was a museum, and you could walk through his house, and there was never anybody there. And I remember I had an experience one time. I was upstairs in the billiard room, which was his favorite room, and I smelled cigar smoke, and I was like, wow, who the hell's smoking up here, you know? And I came back down, and I asked the staff member, I said, oh, is somebody smoking in here? She's like, no, there's no smoking in here. This is a museum. And I said, oh, wow. He said, well, I smell cigar smoke up there. And they're like, oh, yeah, that happens often, you know? So I thought, wow, that's pretty wild.
That's a Gettysburg one, too.
Yeah.
So
how did the Heritage Society, how'd that come about?
The Heritage Hunter Society.
Yes.
You'll even hammer me out. The Heritage Hunter Society. I loved history. Even as a kid, my grandparents would take us all over the place. And once I moved to North Carolina, and I started realizing how much history is here and how many places you can go to here. All the historical places here are free. There's no fees to go into any place. It's a great state to live in. Like up north, everything, there's a fee for everything.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately. And that helps support these places. But down here, it's great that they don't have any fees. So you can go across the whole state and visit forts and museums and you name it. So I started doing this when I first moved here. And that's when, you know, of course, the computers came out in 95, 96 or so. Was the first time that, you know, we had our own computers and started looking and researching what you could, you know, back when we had AOL. I mean, that was a joke. And these little rooms, you know, with little people's names, and that's all there was. There were no pictures or anything. So I started out that way, really. Just started doing my own thing all these years. And then as the computers took off and then more shows came out, taps came out, it was so cool to find out that there were other groups out there to actually go and meet and work with. So that's kind of what got me started. But for years I did it on my own, just with a little, you know, cassette recorder, you know, and that's what I used to use.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome. I mean, I'm all about the historical places, you know. I mean, obviously my heart belongs to Gettysburg, but you know,
oh yeah.
But I love I love historical old buildings, whether they're abandoned or just preserved, or, you know what I mean, just the history.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm walking where somebody walked 150 years ago in the same spot, like in a house. Like, I try, when I go in these houses or buildings and stuff, and you know a little bit about the history, I try to imagine what it was like, you know what I mean?
Especially infamous people, or you know, or something that's captivating, like a Civil War, or you know, General Lee or Chamberlain or any of them, you know, walked in, or one of the presidents. I mean, even,
anybody.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, even.
I think so many of us that are in the paranormal are into the history end because that's, it's such another facet of what we do. I mean, and what I like about what you guys do is you do a lot of the metaphysics stuff too, and that's really neat because a lot of us don't do that. And, I enjoy watching you guys do the different things, and you were doing the different episodes with the bells and all that,
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, like, we try to just, like, with us, like, it's not just ghosts, you know what I mean? Like, and we just try to, everything that's out there, anything, it's
a lot of preservation.
There's so many levels to paranormal, you know what I mean? There's so many levels, and,
one of the main levels, I think, is, helping people and helping, like, the historical sites,
too.
I mean, that's on our end, I don't know.
Yeah.
There are certain, unnamed people that go out just for fun and, shits and giggles, but I don't think it's shits and giggles. I think it's really important.
That's not me. I'm hardcore.
It's really important.
And all the people I work with are very serious about it. Even though we have fun, you got to have fun doing it.
Yeah, everyone, fun, but, some people, it's just not in their blood to help, the historical part of it or to help a client out. But that's what we're about. We're definitely about that.
I mean, even
I don't understand. If you're not into the historical end, you're not helping people, then it shows pretty much what you're into. And it's not something that, thrill seeking and just doing it as, some people just do it to have a social life and to, and that's fine too. I mean, there's many facets of this field that we're in,
Yeah, but, it weeds out. You see the people that aren't in it for the right reasons. Like, they're the ones that bring the drama,
and that's the ones that harm things. Like, let's just go and knock things around and disturb something, or like if they're trespassing, that they destroy property and stuff like that. So that's where
those are just criminals. That's right.
It ruins the people who are really doing it for the good causes.
Yeah, I just to piggyback what Sabrina was saying, the reason, because a lot of the TV shows, it's like they're just in there doing an investigation, right? They don't. And
now in this last few years, my God, some of these shows have become really horrible.
Right.
And
right. I will say, that the new Ghost Hunters and Ghost Nation, I enjoy watching them. They're helping people. They're showing you they're helping people. But that's what it is. Even like the private clients. Like I said this last week, half of the time when we have a private client, 9 times out of 10, we're not doing an investigation.
Yeah, we're
just going out there and helping them and giving them tools to, learn how to just
understand what they're dealing with.
Right, and learn how to deal with it and this and that. We wind up not having to do an investigation. However, that's what we're there for, to help them,
right, exactly.
And it's the same with the historical society or the historical places. Like, yes, those are like our fun stuff, but at the same time, we're more driven to raise money for preservation, to help out, to spread the word, to get that out there and raise money for these places to keep them, because that's what, our history should be preserved.
But you get also a mix of...
That's really great that you guys do that too, because a lot of groups don't do that, and I commend you guys for doing that. These places need the money because they don't get the funding from the government and this and that that they need to survive.
Right.
And keep the upkeep of these places.
And it's expensive.
Yeah, but it's not just about even the paranormal investigations. I mean, we'll do all sorts of different things just to preserve the history, even if it is about who's been through the place. It doesn't necessarily have to be the spirits itself. It has to do with who's been through there, what the history's about, why that historical site is there, why it's wanting to be preserved. It has nothing. Sometimes it's not even to do with the spirits in there, and that's what we come into. We help them
Right.
build just
Oh, yeah.
an extra oomph in that funding.
Right.
You know, I mean, we could do psychic fairs, we could do historical,
Yeah.
reenacting, anything. Just we'll do it all, not just paranormal.
Right.
We'll go in there to do all many different facets of the historical.
Well, and I don't know if you guys have experienced, but over the years, I've been doing this many years and trying to get locations. Most of the historical places, if you just go in there about ghosts, they're not going to want to work with you.
No.
And they're
not all the
not
time.
I was
going
just
Because
gonna
to
say that.
preservation doesn't really like it. Some of them it helps, but like
They
some
think
of
it's
them,
taboo. They don't.
some historical preservations are not with that. So
Right, exactly. Some places have no interest, especially in North Carolina. Many places are not interested in anything paranormal. They just want to talk about the history. So you know what? You don't fight them. You go in there and you just do the history, and that's fine. And if they do have experiences and they're willing to share them, that's great. But it's a very small percentage
that's
that they
true.
will talk
But
about.
we're
Because,
lucky. I'm sorry.
these crazy people that are out there in the paranormal field that are not serious, and they'll go in there and they'll visit these places and they'll destroy these places and they'll vandalize them.
And then
or
that
just-
prevents like people that actually want to go in there and help and do the right thing. It prevents
Right.
that from happening. You know.
Well, we're pretty
Right.
lucky around our area. Like we have quite a few historical, like April Davies and Selma and White Hill. Like
Falls
all
Farm.
of them combine everything, like the paranormal and the history, and all different types of aspects. Like even painting, painting parties and things like that to raise money. So we get all involved in all that. So we're lucky and fortunate that a lot of our historical preservation areas do enjoy not just the paranormal, but also the history and things like that.
Well, also you have to keep in mind that you're in North Carolina, which has a very conservative point of view when it comes to the paranormal. Falcon, North Carolina is home to the Christian group that speak in tongues. What is it? You know what I'm talking about. So I don't know if you have ever encountered a lot of backlash because you're into the paranormal from the Christian community, the conservative Christian community, and they might not embrace what you do. I don't know if you had an issue with that.
Well, the plus side for me is being here this many years, I've made such good friends with other established teams that are born and raised here. So I really have some great friends that have connections into these places through their heritage, and that really helps. So I don't experience it a lot, but I'm also in the service business for 35 years. I'm a plumbing contractor. I go into people's homes, so I know how to be very respectful and how to present myself to anybody. So that really helps in the paranormal. But yeah, you have to be so careful, and you have to, when you're building these connections and friendships with these places, some are into it and some want nothing to do with it, and that's fine. You have to just move on and go find other locations. I've found some of the most amazing locations that I've built friendships with these people over the years, and that's why I'm doing the show that I'm filming right now about many of these locations. And I'm one that researches places for years. I won't go and just hit one or two places or hit a place once or twice. I'll spend years researching a place to find out what's there. And they'll let me come in for years at a time, let me have the whole locations at night and all that. And trust me, and that's the big thing is trust.
So you're not only you're like researching the history as well as researching the paranormal stuff that's going on there.
Well, we've captured so much stuff that we're trying to find links to what we've captured to the actual history, which is really amazing. That really, and you get names and different things that tie into the property. Then you try and research back the property back to the American Revolution. It's pretty wild.
Have you ever been to Gettysburg?
Oh, 6-7 times. Yeah, I love Gettysburg. One of my favorite places.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing an episode from there on what I've captured already. And it's amazing what I've captured. What I've captured, nobody has ever gotten out of the Jenny Wade house yet. This is an apparition coming out of a mirror, and it's pretty wild. I showed it to Kendra, who used to run the museum and all, and Pam and Steve, and they're like, "Holy crap!" They couldn't believe what I captured. So that'll be on the Gettysburg episode. Gettysburg is an amazing place, one of my favorite places in the East
Well,
Coast.
when I live there, you're more than welcome to come whenever you want.
You let me go. I'll come and do all your plumbing for you. But it's my favorite place to go as far as history. And it's funny because I talk to people all over the United States, and I do a lot of radio shows. I just did one out of California. I'm going to do one out of Wyoming, and I make friends with a lot of people all over the country, and they all say the same thing. You know, the East Coast has some of the best historical locations. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I mean, we really do.
Yeah. Somebody, Dustin, he was talking about the Jenny Wade house.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Jenny Wade house he was in, talking about that.
Right, that's where I was.
Yeah.
Is that where you used the mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've captured several things. It's funny. I went on just a little day tour years ago with some friends that were some investigators, and we did a little $7 tour during the afternoon. And we went in, and we were all just standing in the room where they had the bedroom, where the sister had the baby, and there's a mirror on the wall. And I was just standing there, listening to the tour guide. And my first shot I took was of my friend next to the mirror, next to the bed. And in that photo, you'll see the reflection through the mirror, and then you can see the portrait of Jenny Wade. But what's wild is there's actually a woman's head and face looking straight at me, coming out of the mirror as I took that shot. Wow. And that was the first shot there, and I was like, oh my God, what the hell? And it's crystal clear. I mean, it looks like it's something out of Hollywood. It looks like it's something that's Photoshopped, and it's not. It's genuine. And I showed it to Kendra probably a year or two later when I finally went back and saw her, and she freaked. She was like, wow, oh my God, that's amazing. She said, but even better, she said, I know who that is. I'm like, you know who that is? She goes, yeah. She goes, I think that's Tilly Pierce.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tilly Pierce lived down the street.
Yeah.
And the wild thing is Tilly Pierce lived to be about 80, 84 years old before she passed away.
Yeah.
But Tilly Pierce was famous for writing the book What a Girl Saw on the Day of the Battle.
I have it.
I have it too.
And she
I
wrote
love
that when she was in her early 20s, what she had witnessed. And what Kendra told me was, she goes, well, Jenny and Tilly kind of didn't like each other because Tilly at the time was 15, and I think Jenny was 19. I think that's when she died. And they both liked the same boy. And of course, Jenny got the girl, boy, because she was older, And so it's so wild. I said to Kendra, I said, wow. I said, imagine. So here's Tilly hanging out in this house of this girl she didn't like, and it wasn't even Jenny's house. Right. Years later, and here this woman passed away. She was in her 80s. But she looks to be about maybe 30 or 40 at this time. It's crazy. It's a crazy photo. And that will be on my episode on my new show. And I'm going to have Mark Nesbitt involved with it because I showed him that photo last year or the year before when I went to the bash. And for years I've been trying to show it to him because his building is right next door to Tilly Pierce's little inn. Right. And I just want his professional opinion because I really do love all his work, and I think he's really amazing. And I showed it to him, and he was like, oh my God. He goes, first thing he said to me is, can I get a copy of that picture?
Well, you know what? The same thing.
And I said, you can, once after it's on the air and it's copyrighted, and I will give copies of it. But he was fascinated with it, so I definitely would like to have him do a little clip on my episode of my show.
That would be cool.
About that.
I actually did the same thing. When I got the picture of the Confederate soldier at the railroad cut.
Oh, on the tracks. Yes, I saw that. You sent that to me.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got, right? That is my...
Oh, well, you got to keep going, get more and more.
I mean, I have I captured what looks like a mist in front of one of the Connecticut monuments with my full spectrum camera there, but nothing like my soldier there on the tracks. And I sent that to Mark Nesbitt, and me and him went back and forth. He was just like asking, and he goes, can I hang that up? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, please, but yeah, like, I gotta tell you, I went to the Jenny Wade house. I did an investigation there, and I got nothing. And it's
very
crazy.
common.
I thought there's more energy in Tilly Pierce's than there was in Jenny Wade's, actually.
Farnsworth. I stayed at Farnsworth, and
get me started.
Farnsworth.
Get me started.
I stayed in the supposedly the most haunted room there. Nothing, right? So here I go to the Inn at Lincoln Square, and I'm telling you, like,
Not me.
every time I'm there, I just get so much. I get audio, I get touched, I hear things.
I need to visit there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's places that you don't really think that would happens. You know,
it's the places. I mean, anytime you go to well, for me, anytime I go to Gettysburg,
Something
I have an experience somewhere, whether it's in the park, whether it's, you know,
it might be mundane.
Yeah.
You know, it might be something small, but it's something. You know.
yeah.
Right.
So do you have a group that helps you with what, you know, the heritage?
I have. Well, I used to run a lot of paranormal groups. I used to teach the general public on how to investigate. So I had for years I had a group called Raleigh Paranormal, which I would teach the public, and it was free. You know, you didn't have to pay anything, and we would go to Gettysburg and different places, and I would train people on how to investigate. And that took a lot of my time. I did that for like 6 years, and you know, people get into it, they know nothing, and within 3 weeks, they're experts. They know everything, and, you know, they know more than you could ever know. I've been doing this 25 years, and they know more than anything I could ever teach them, and, you know, then that's where the drama comes in and backstabbing and all that. And so I got away from that, but, yeah, I was doing this for free for people, taking them to events and things. So I learned not to be so kind to the public, and I pulled back and just started focusing back on my heritage hunter group, which is really a small group of people. Me and really my best friend John Brennan, who's out of New York. That's where we grew up, and so he still lives up there, but he travels to any locations that we're going to do, and whenever he can help out, he does. But it's pretty much everything I'm doing. But what I do is I work with a lot of great local groups here in North Carolina, and they're just as seasoned as me. They've been doing it for a long time, and we all bring really great things to the table. We bring different methods and different backgrounds. And it's just nice to work with other people that are serious. I probably work with about 7 or 8 different groups. And this is probably over the last 10 years, these same groups. So it just shows if you find the right people, you can really do well, and you can have a good time. And, a lot of fun.
So, like, just say, like, we were going to do a paranormal investigation somewhere, right? So you say the groups you work with. So what do? Do they call you and say, hey, you know, we have this place that's 150 years old. Come and help us. You do basically the research of the history and the heritage of the place, and, like, they're doing paranormal stuff, or, you know,
What's really nice is when you work with, like, say you work with 3 or 4 groups for a long period of time, and you almost become like a big family. When they get a case, they'll call you and say, hey, we got this place, would you like to go? They invite each other.
Right.
And we've done that. That's why I've been able to capture and go to so many places, because I get invited to so many great places, and then I invite them to locations that I have. And that's so nice, because it's not like you're an independent group trying to find locations. We've never had to struggle to find any of these great places that we go to, because we're working with so many different groups. So we'll all go in with our different methods. I'm a gear guy all the way. I'm a big audio guy. I mean, when I roll in, I'm rolling in with at least 4 or 5 or 6 recorders, high-end recorders.
That's me.
You know, DR40s and up. Everything has to be dual recorders, and I place them all over the place so that I'm doing multiple recordings. So when we catch something, I can actually document it on 2 or 3 different ones, and depending on, I can actually pinpoint and tell you where it is in the building, what locations, things like that.
You know what sucks about that, though, Mike, is, you know, like, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Like, Sabrina will have 1 recorder, and we're doing an investigation for 4 hours, where I have 5. So now Sabrina only has 4 hours to listen to, and I got 20.
Exactly. That's my problem. You know, I'll do 4 recorders, you know, and you do 5 hours, you know, add that up, and, you know, it's like, wow. And you have to really go through all of it.
You
know?
do. Yeah. You do. I mean,
but
because
you capture so much more that way, too.
Well, yeah, because then you don't, like, I've had, on numerous occasions, I've had I've had captured stuff on one recorder and not on the other, or
Exactly.
it sounded different on one than it does the other, you know. And I know they're all wired differently, but you know, you just
Right, and depending on the distance of where you put them,
Sure.
it'll give you different. You know, we did a home investigation one time. A family had a lot of things going on, and they were really scared, and they had multiple voices and things going on in their home, and so we came in and I set up my different recorders all over the place, and they kept hearing. The woman said that she kept hearing jazz music being played a lot, and that the former owner liked music. So we were just there, and we always make the families leave when we investigate. We make them leave for 3-4 hours so they can really just be quiet and just do our thing with no family members there. And I asked the question, I was in the dining room, and I said, you know, I play piano. I said, can you play us some music? And with that, you know, we all stay super quiet. And on the one recorder closest to me, there was a piano note that's played 55 times in a row.
Holy crap.
wow.
Bing, 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 55 times in a row, one note. And there was no piano in the house. One or two other recorders captured it, other ones didn't record it. So,
Wow.
pretty wild. Yeah,
You know,
55
also,
notes
though-
in a row, super clear.
Yeah. You know why else I like doing that though? Because there's been times where on one recorder I thought I've captured an EVP, but then on the other recorder I could tell, oh, that was just so and so doing this. You know what I mean? Like it made it a little bit more clear to where I could throw it out. You know, so
Right, exactly.
it
That's
helps.
why it's good to do that.
Yeah.
But now, when you do investigate, how many people do you have on investigation too?
Oh, it depends. I mean, no more than what, 5? Because it's just us. I mean, it's unless we're doing an event for a historical site, then we have, you know,
I
then
don't
it's
even really,
different.
It's very hard to
But when it's us,
capture evidence at that point when you're doing an event.
yeah. But when it's us, except for the center, like that was insane.
Yeah.
But there's like 4 or 5 of us, maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's hard. When you have that many people, that is hard because no matter how you try and be quiet, you'll still get bleeding from somewhere.
Right.
And it could throw you off. So it is good that you run those multiple recorders.
Oh yeah, yeah. So how do you pick the locations that you're going to go to? The ones that you're going to go.
Well, I've done some of I've been very lucky. I've really just targeted the places that I wanted to see if I can get into. As far as old schools, wineries, libraries, hotels. I love to do historical hotels that are haunted. So I've been very lucky. And like I said, I've built these friendships with the owners over the years. And I'm not trying to block any people because I don't believe in doing that, but most of them all say to me, they said, we're not having anybody else in here. We're just having you. And whoever you want to bring is fine, but it's only through your discretion that, you know, who you
And
bring.
that's awesome.
We're fine with that.
That's
so
awesome.
I've gotten some really great restaurants that are, I do one that's called the Country Squire Inn. That's, it's a restaurant, it's a winery, it's a vintage inn. It sits on about 100 acres of land, and my God, there's so many ghosts there that are, that's going to be the first episode of my show, Journey Through the Past, will be the Country Squire Inn. And I've been investigating this since 2010, so it shows you how many years. I've probably done about 13 investigations there, and we've captured so much. And I bring in different groups because I'm curious to see what other groups will capture. And
Especially if it's the same thing.
it's really a really cool place.
When is your show? Like how would one go about watching your show, and when's it starting and all that stuff?
Well, I'm working on it right now. It's actually going to be on Prime TV, Prime Video Direct. I'm working on that, and I'm doing everything 100%. Filming, editing, writing, creating, all of it. So it's taken a lot of time, but and it's going to highlight a lot of the people that I work with, people that have helped me. They'll be on the show. It'll be the staff members and owners of the properties, their interviews, because I find that stuff really the best. Those are the best when you hear an actual interview from somebody that owns the property and tells you the stories that have been going on all those years versus me telling you what I experienced. I'd rather just show you what we've captured, and then also show the interviews with the staff and people like that. So that I'm hoping in the next few weeks to get it uploaded. I'm still working on a few one thing about Prime Direct, you have to jump through all these different hoops, and you have to have it in these certain files, and you have to have closed caption on everything. And so I'm learning all about that stuff and doing that. Besides putting the show together, that's the hard part, and then having to do all these requirements for them to get it on there. But I figure there's a lot of shows out there now, and if they can figure it out, I'm sure I'll figure it out too. So probably in the next few weeks, I'm trying to get it up and running.
Is it going to?
I'm going to do one episode at a time versus 5 or 6, and they're going to be like mini documentaries.
Right.
So they'll be like 45 minutes to an hour, but they are filled with evidence and investigations and history and
the history part. That's what I was going to ask you. Like, is it showing like how you do the hunter heritage stuff? How you guys go about just
how we investigate? Yeah, a little bit of that, because to me, I find that kind of, for me, when I watch these shows, I don't want to see these people just sitting there in the dark investigating. I'd rather show more of the evidence. We'll definitely show when we're capturing things during the investigations. It'll be really, I critique these new shows that are out there, and I'm not a fan of a lot of them because a lot of them are boring, and I don't want mine to be boring. I want mine to flow nice and keep you interested. And to me, I've captured so many great pieces of evidence that a lot of people haven't seen before that that's what's going to be the highlight of the shows on here. And I have the luxury of doing that because I've investigated for years, and I have all this great data and these pieces of evidence already, as versus some of these new shows that go to places and try and see if they can capture something and then try and make a show out of it. And to me, that's a fail right there. That's when you put in the scary music and you run around the dark and you throw some curse words in and you do all that, and there you go. That's what everybody thinks is a great show, and to me, that's a very boring show. So I want to show what real investigators do.
Well, and that's good. That's cool. And that's awesome. And it's also going to be refreshing to see like new locations, because so many shows go to the same. Yeah,
it's not. I don't like going to all the famous places everybody else goes to. I don't do that. I always get a lot of new locations that have never been investigated, and that's what I like. That's really what I look for all the time. That's more interesting. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like different things rather than the same thing over and over.
Yeah, the same location.
Every group goes.
But what's funny though? Like, there's been shows we've investigated some of the places that end up on the TV shows, and why in God's name, when it's on TV, is it negative and harmful? This that we've investigated there, and I'm like, the place was awesome.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. What was it? The Wildwood Sanitarium, there was nothing negative there, and you watch some of these shows and it's just they're acting like it's the
screaming
yeah,
at the door, let me out, I'm locked in here.
Oh gosh. I mean,
that's not real, but that's the crap that's out there nowadays. Yeah. It's sad,
Yeah.
Have you been to any place that you've ever experienced anything really negative?
Well, it's all private, but negative.
You mean historic? You want a historical place? No.
Historic place negative.
See, yeah, I mean, I've been all over the United States. I've been to other countries, and in 25 years of me doing this, I've never had a negative experience ever.
Right.
Never been scratched, never been pushed. I've captured all kinds of things, been touched many times by spirits, but nothing like what these shows promote. And I'm so against all that. So you'll never see me do something like what these other shows are out there doing. And I totally agree with you about going to these places. I have gone to a few places, and everything is demons. And it's if you capture a child, it's not a child, it's a demon. And I just think it's very funny. I think ghosts can be scary to people. If you live in a home and you don't like them, or you're scared of it, it's going to be scary. And then you can probably, side with these TV shows thinking it's scary. But as investigators, when I see an investigator being scared, to me, I feel they have no business being there. They're not an investigator. They're a thrill seeker. And and if you're doing a show and you're scared and all, even these big, I won't say the big name shows, but if if you're running around scared and this and that and demons, yeah, you're doing it just for the money. That's what you're doing it for.
I
You're doing it for anything else.
I do believe, in that theory where, if somebody's an a-hole, in real life when they pass, I feel like their energy, I mean, I do think that some of whatever, made them who they were while they were here, goes away, but I do think that they could still be, an asshole there. You know what I mean? So, and I think that can come off
definitely,
as...
there's ghosts that want to scare people,
right.
And they want them to believe that they're maybe demons, and they get a kick out of it. They're, like you said, they're asshole here, they're asshole there. Definitely, that lives on,
Yeah.
And people get scared because they don't know. But if you're an investigator and you're doing this and you don't realize that, then you really should go pick another field to be in, because you're not doing anybody any good by running around scared in the dark. And I do believe that there's evil things out there and bad things out there, but it's very, very rare. I mean, I work with a lot of other very seasoned investigators, and they've had very few, negative things over the years. They definitely had them, but it was only a few. So, I won't say that nothing exists, but in my 25 years, I've had no bad experiences. So.
Right, and that's a good thing. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But it's what you put out there. If you put out good, you're going to get good. If you put out bad or negative, you're going to get negative.
Yeah, I've definitely, have not ever, I've always put it out there that, because I was with a group that, did help cases like that, and I was like, I don't want any parts of it. Came very close a couple of times, but I have kept myself, knock on wood, I've kept myself...
She refused to help me.
But, I'm still, I'm still...
And I do, and I know some groups that's all they want to do is these dark cases, and I'm like, yeah, how about it? And that's their thing, and to me, it's almost a form of thrill-seeking. I don't know. And like I said, I only talk about what I have experienced, so I'll never tell you I believe in something unless I've actually experienced it.
Right.
So I can't tell you that there's not bad things out there, but I don't hang out with bad people in this life, so why am I going to try and hang out with bad spirits?
Right? Yeah.
It's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
It is, but you can always have that one person that's fake. To try to get in the good graces, and then you open up and you trust them, and all of a sudden they're like, "Booyah," which can happen.
Oh yeah.
But that's why you have to make sure you do yourself right and protect yourself, and you know what I mean, and just and like you said, I agree. You put the good out there, and you keep the positive, and you know what I mean. Likes attract likes.
Yeah.
So
you'll draw it in.
Like I even did I don't do a lot of prisons, and I went to Brushy Mountain Prison in Tennessee, and that's a really cool place to go. If you ever get a chance and you all want to go out there, that's something like all of us as groups could go together.
Yeah.
Because you can bring 10 or 12 people.
I would love to go to
it's such
Tennessee.
a big place that you can really spread out, and you would never contaminate each other. And it had hundreds and hundreds of prisoners, and they called that the end of the line, because when you went there was no parole. You weren't getting out of there. And they abused those prisoners there, but they were also pretty bad themselves as prisoners. But yeah, we had a lot of activity there and captured a lot of great things.
Yeah, we have
it's way out in the middle of the country, so this prison sits out in the country. So it's like there's no noise from anywhere else. You don't hear cars going by. It's not like, I think, where is it, Eastern State Penitentiary? Many people have told me to go there, and they hear all the traffic noise going on outside.
It is.
By
It's
the building.
terrible.
So that's why Brushy is so cool, because it's very historical. And James Earl Ray was one of the prisoners there, the man that killed Martin Luther King. And just a really neat place, and the history is really cool. So if you ever want to do a road trip to Tennessee, you let me know.
Listen, we have a group that we work with, SRS Paranormal. They're from Tennessee. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, and literally we are messaging every week, because either we are trying to go down there or they're trying to come up here to collaborate again. And
sure,
I'm like,
you should.
oh, I want to go to Tennessee so bad.
Tennessee's awesome. like I said, if you get a chance, go to Brushy, because it's not cheap by any means. I mean, it is a high fee, but if you go in with 10 or 12 people, it's not bad. It's maybe $150 a person. But I thought that was high at first, and then once I investigated, I said that was worth every cent.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's good.
That's like Rolling Hills.
Yeah.
Rolling Hills is that was
Expensive.
that was awesome. If you ever get a chance to go to Rolling Hills, I captured on my recorder. I captured what sounded like a bunch of little kids singing "London Bridge is Falling Down." It was like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was
That's cool.
amazing. I was standing outside of one of the doors at one of the rooms, and it was the best experience I ever had.
Rolling Hills, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm standing outside of this room, and I hear movement, and I said to the person that was standing next to me, I said, "Did you hear that?" And they're like, "Yeah." And all of a sudden, I could feel the breath on my cheek. I heard,
Oh, wow.
and it was like, ho, 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 like this goofy laugh, and it was right in front of me, and I was like,
Wow.
"Holy shit! I was like, "Holy shit!" Did my recorder? I didn't even know what to do. Like I was like, I felt the breath on my cheek. It was right there. It was amazing. Rolling Hills, hands down, is so awesome.
Yeah.
So Michael.
Yeah, it's nice when you can find a place that's famous, for what I call a paranormal tourist spot, and you go there and they actually have activity. That's neat.
Yeah.
Because so many places don't have a lot of activity,
Right. Right.
So Michael,
Like Waverly Hill. So many people go to Waverly Hill and they don't capture a lot. And that's a far drive to go, and it's expensive, and then
I've
you
never
don't capture
been.
a lot. So,
Yeah, I've never been.
Waverly Hills.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony
I would like to.
Anthony has a question. Go ahead, Anthony.
So two
Sure.
questions.
Go for
So
it.
me and Sabrina are thinking about, maybe you too.
I know, what the hell? What am I?
I know.
Chopped liver?
We're thinking about going to Rugby, Tennessee. Have you heard of that place?
Yes, I have. Sounds like I haven't been there yet, but it's a very quiet little place, and I have heard some good things about it. So if you want to go to a really nice historical place, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. Have you been to Shiloh?
No, I haven't been there either. I have not been there. That's definitely a place I'd like to go.
Yeah.
I focus a lot of time going to Gettysburg, and I've gone to out of the country too. I've been to London, I've been to Spain, I've been to France, so I've done some things over there. So, but there's so many places in America to do too. I want to go out west.
Wait, just let me stop
Hopefully
you.
next year I go to California and do some things out in California.
One of the guys from SRS Paranormal just joined us, Al. Al, we were just talking about Tennessee. And Mike, what did you say the place was?
Rugby?
No,
No.
the place in Tennessee.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, Brushy Mountain.
Brushy Mountain.
Yeah,
Look, see?
Brushy Mountain.
I just heard Tennessee. You coming?
I'm not getting anything on this side.
I see you,
Brushy Mountain, Tennessee. Yeah, you
Brushy
definitely need to go there.
Mountain.
yeah, I just heard you coming.
Our friend that we have on here, Al, is talking about Brushy Mountain. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but he said that they've been there. He said they've been there.
Oh yeah, it's a great place.
Yeah.
Definitely, you should definitely go. It's they give you like 12 hours in the place, so that you have it from like 10, 11 o'clock at night till 7 in the morning. So you have it all through the night, and it's huge. It's a huge property. You can spread out, and you won't see each other all night. It's that big.
12 hours, that long for that
Wow.
amount of money.
Yeah, he just said that they're going
that's
March. He said they're going back out March 13th.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people go. I just found it was. I was very leery about going because, like I said, I'm not big into going to prisons and stuff that has a lot of negative stuff. And I really enjoyed it. We had a great time. We worked with my buddy's team, Black Raven Paranormal. Marty on Sidewell invited me to come because one or two of their members couldn't go and they needed some extra hands. So me and my friend Danny Corley went, and we were guests with them, and we had a great time. Like I said, we captured a lot of EVPs. Even on their little tour, they'll do a tour earlier in the evening and walk you around the place before it gets dark. And even on the tour, I caught a really cool voice of a guy. We were going up the stairs to this one pier, and you hear this guy screaming out, crack, crack, crack. It's like numerous times, crack. And we were like, wow, he either wants drugs or somebody's messing with crack.
That's funny.
Or if there's a crack in the wall.
Yeah.
Al said,
But it was wild. It was so weird to hear that. And the group I was with, I was the only, there was only me and the cameraman, and everybody else was ladies. So there was, and this was a male voice yelling. So it was
That's a
pretty
good
neat.
one.
he said that they're going to Hell's Bar Dam same weekend.
Yeah, that's a big dam.
Yep.
That's a big dam up
Heard
there.
about
I don't
that.
understand why it's haunted, but a lot of my friends, paranormal groups, have gone there.
A lot of people.
And
I never even heard of it.
yeah, I heard it.
yeah, I only heard through my friends going, and they had a great time. But it is some kind of dam, power dam, and
Exactly. It's big.
so I guess a lot of people go to that.
I want to go to
my favorite places to
Tennessee.
go are haunted hotels. That's my favorite thing.
I want to go to Tennessee for the moonshine.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, you can get right there at Brushy
Moonshine.
Mountain. They have a distillery now, so you can get lit as you go wander the prison.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to hang out with my peeps, SRS Paranormal. I want to get moonshine, and I want to investigate.
She wants to go to Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Yeah, go to Brushy Mountain. If you go all the way there, go to Brushy Mountain.
Brushy Mountain.
It is, Brushy Mountain. My good friend Tiffany White and her group run that place, and they've run all the tours all these years, and they're the ones that help you out when you're going to investigate it through the night. You know, they'll set you up, and then they'll let you all be, let you alone and have the place to yourself.
All right. So what? So when's your show starting?
Hopefully in the next few weeks it'll be up on TV, so I will send a link to you all when it's ready.
Absolutely.
And,
So we can promote that.
I've been trying since October to get it out, but I've had a lot of obstacles and work and family and all that.
Yeah.
So, once it's out, I'll advertise it to everybody. And it's called The Heritage Hunters Journey Through the Past, the name of the show.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That is awesome. And
I think you'll really enjoy it because it's filmed. A lot of it's filmed during the day. It's not in scary, dark places. It's a lot of great scenery and a lot of cool interviews and a lot of great evidence. And you're going to hear and see some stuff that you've never seen before.
that's
And,
awesome.
That's what all these shows should be doing. And unfortunately, they're not. These big production company things, they're just doing what they want to do, and it's not the same.
Yeah. Well, and because it's like. I know that I can't remember who I talked to. It was at a phenomenology, and even if I'm going to say that even if I do remember who it was, I'm not going to say it. But the one thing that is discouraging to them is that the shows want them to kind of fake stuff. Put with the equipment and everything, and it's like, well, that's not how it works. Well, people want to see the bleeps and the colors and the this and the that, and it's what makes it, and it's discouraging because, it kind of, makes it like it's, not what we do. It kind of like, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but
it's very deceiving, and it's not what we do.
Makes
It's not
it like
real
it's a
evidence.
joke,
And a lot of the equipment that's out there is a joke.
Yeah,
and, I'm not one that likes spirit boxes. I don't mess with them
Me
because
neither.
Yeah,
I've experimented with all of them, and it's garbage to me. It's a bunch of garbage. And this next generation of people that are in paranormal, they'll take a flashlight and they'll think it's amazing that a flashlight is turning on. I'm sorry, that's not evidence to me.
Right.
A flashlight turning on and off is not paranormal evidence.
Right.
I want video, I want photos, I want audio, and I want experiences.
Right.
And if you have that, to me, that's really solid, good evidence.
I'm big
to work
on audio. I'm big on audio.
Yeah,
I'm big
I love
on
audio.
experience.
Love video.
Yes,
Video's
yes,
hard to
yes,
get, but if you get it.
experience.
And I use a lot of full spectrum, and I like thermal too.
Yeah.
Those are my big things to
That's
use.
big,
And I love audio.
I love my full
audio.
spectrum camera.
If you're quiet and there's a voice right next to you and you capture it, there's nothing better than that. So yeah, these new shows and all the gizmos they use, to me it's very sad to watch. So I don't watch them. I don't bash anybody. I don't tell them not to use it. That's their own business, but not something that I would recommend.
Right.
Both these.
No, I'm with you. I basically go to investigations. I have my recorders. I have my full spectrum camera, and and sometimes I don't even use it. You know what I mean? I just have it, just in case. But it's mostly my recorders. Now, if we're hosting an event for a place to try to raise money, obviously we want the public to get the most out of their money. So,
Sure.
we'll bring out all of the gadgets. We'll bring out. We'll try. You know what I mean, and stuff like that.
That's fine.
But with if it's a private house, I don't like it. And
Right.
if we're doing our own thing, enough of us, we're sensitive. You have all kinds of
Hey, boss.
what.
No. So listen.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, I love to work with people that are sensitive. And for years, when I was doing these public groups, I met hundreds and hundreds of people that would come up to me and tell me that they were psychic and sensitive, and I would take them to locations that I knew were haunted, and I had been capturing things, and they would never catch anything, and what they were babbling on about was rubbish. And then in the last few years, I met 2 or 3 really talented people that were able to confirm the things that I was capturing on those investigations. Like, they would say the name of this person before I got the recording of it.
Right.
And to me, that was wild. And it wasn't a normal name. And they were like, so-and-so is here, and it's this person. I mean, they weren't guessing. They were saying it. And I listened to the recording, and there was that name right after they had stated it. So to me, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's real. And that's very rare to find people. When you get good, sensitive people, it's excellent.
Yeah.
And you need to use them in the right way.
For sure. Absolutely. So
That's better than any flashlight or ghost box.
when are you headed up to like the Jersey area?
Well, probably not for a while. Probably next time I go up north is probably going to go back to Gettysburg.
Well,
I'm
there's
trying
smart.
to shoot
I
for
wouldn't
even
come to
more
Jersey either.
before-
I would go to Gettysburg as well.
You're probably trying to go in March. I know you are.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to go for my birthday.
Well, once I get my show up, then I need to go start filming the Gettysburg episode with Mark Nesbitt and all them. So I need to get up with him because I know he doesn't live there. So
I'm trying to actually go up because March 7th, they're having the grand opening of Mark Nesbitt and the Ghost Exchange, Steve and Pam.
Oh, well, then I need to go. I definitely need to be there then. Are you going to go?
Yeah, I want to go. Because I want to go for my birthday. So my birthday's March 2nd, and I said
Okay.
I was either going to go the weekend before or because it's on a stupid Monday. So I was either going to go the weekend before or the weekend after, and then they said that that's the grand opening for Mark Nesbitt and the Ghost Exchange, collaborating, and I'm like, oh, I'm all about that.
Yeah, I'm really glad they're doing that because, Steve and Pam are awesome.
Oh,
and,
I love them to
and,
death.
and for them to be in the same building with Mark, I think that's really neat.
I think it's amazing.
That's really 2 talented folks joining together.
I think that's an amazing collaboration. I love Steve and Pam, and Mark Nesbitt, hands down is... I met him once, and like I said, shared my picture with him, and he kind of validated for me that he thought it was something. So, it just, I think, I respect the man. There's not, so.
I do too. I really enjoy his writing, and he's dedicated his whole life to Gettysburg, being there all those years. And he's a great writer. I love reading his books.
The interesting thing, I have all
I'll
this.
have to look and see what my schedule's like. I'd love to come out. And if not, I'll probably be up there some other time in March. I definitely want to come and see them, but I need to get up with them because, like I said, I would probably like to have Pam and Steve in my episode too with Mark, so and share that photo with them and get their reactions because the photo was amazing.
You should go to the Lookout House to Steve and Pam's.
I haven't been there yet. I need to go there.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm good friends with Jim and Dave too of Keystone Paranormal, and those guys are excellent.
Yeah.
Have you met them?
No, I have not.
Oh, you need to meet them. They are awesome. They are hardcore investigators. The stuff that they capture is really great. They do a lot of work up there. They're from Chamberstown, Pennsylvania, which is not far from there. And I know that they just did a thing at the Lookout House. probably a few weeks ago. They did an overnight there. Maybe I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to hook up with them. They're really nice folks.
Well, I was going to say about when I talked to Mark Nesbitt, when I talked to him, like what's interesting about him is he's like I never experience anything. I follow groups around, and that's where I write my books. Like I write about, you know, the investigations and the experiences and the, you know, the claims and stuff like that. He's like I repel it more than, you know, anything.
He said the same thing to me when I met him, and I showed him that photo, and he, but still, there's, you know, he has a purpose, and you know, he's a great host to what we do, and
Steve Barry's watching, Mike. Just so you know, he just joined us.
Oh, hey Steve, how you doing?
We were just talking about coming for the grand opening March 7th.
Yes.
Can't wait. Miss you guys.
Sounds like a lot of fun. We'll bring the champagne so we can break it on the curb.
Yeah. We're gonna pop champagne. Oh. Yeah.
I have a question.
Cool. Yeah. Gettysburg. Have you ever heard of the? You've probably never been out to the David Stewart farm.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you been there?
Yeah. David Stewart Farm's cool.
Yeah, very cool. It's cool to stay there overnight and investigate. Stephanie is really nice, and we've done some work there and captured some really cool things there.
Yeah,
I have
I
an
love
EVP from there that EVP is it's two soldiers talking to me, and it's about 40 seconds long, which that is the longest EVP I've ever
Listen,
had.
you need to share some of this stuff with me so I can share it.
Oh yeah, I was definitely going to try and send you some tonight, but we didn't have enough time. I'll have to come back another night, because most of the shows, when I do radio shows, I always send you a bunch of EVPs that you can listen to.
Yeah, no, I would love
that's
that.
Always a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, so, I forget what I was just gonna say. I was gonna say something, and then Steve is saying he would love to have all of us there. So I'm telling you, Steve, my birthday's March 2nd. I was already talking about coming up to Gettysburg, so I was either gonna come up the weekend before, but it looks like I'm gonna come up after. Because
when is the opening?
It's March 7th.
7th. Okay. I'll put that on my calendar and see if that works out for me. Possibly going to. Have you heard of this new thing? It's called Vidi Space.
What is it?
It's called Vidi Space. Have you heard Vidi Space?
No.
It's a new thing that the girl, her name is Elizabeth Saint. You know Elizabeth Saint from the different shows. I think she was on Shepherdstown.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I never knew anything about her. I just thought she was a model actress or maybe a paranormal person that got on one of these shows. And I just recently saw an interview with her where her whole background is electrical engineer. And so that's really what she's been doing all these years, and then got into the paranormal. So anyway, she's created this new thing. It's called Vidi Space. Yeah. And you can look it up on Facebook. And what it is, it's for filmmakers or anybody with paranormal shows. And you can post your shows on there for free to get your projects out there to the public. And so she's doing a big film festival February 25th. They're doing their first film festival, and so that's something I'm trying to get out for people, because people like me that are making film projects and things like that, it's another avenue to show your work.
Is it just paranormal?
Paranormal, it's all kinds of films, so it's not just not paranormal, but a lot of different things. So check it out if you get a chance.
Sweet.
Well, I'm all about promoting. I like to promote everybody, so.
Anthony has another question.
Sure.
So, Michael, what's your favorite historical site you ever investigated?
Ever?
Yeah. Probably over in London. A few years back, I was in London, and I was investigating. I have a friend that lives over there, and I told her, please take me to the most haunted place that you've investigated. So she took me to a place called it's called the Viaduct Palace, which was it's a pub bar. It's really called the Gin Palace. We went there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and of course they open up early and to people go in and have their drinks. And this place was a bordello, a drug den. In the basement was part of the prison system across the street. So it had such rich history. And we were there 10:30 in the morning, and manager let us walk around. He actually took us around through the building, and I brought all my equipment with me, and I investigated and captured all kinds of things. But really, it was amazing to get an EVP of a British woman with a British accent on the EVP. So that's really neat.
That's cool.
And that was one of my favorite. But that and that same trip, I went over to France, and I was able to go to the catacombs in Paris. And that was, I'd say that was probably the most wildest place I've ever been so far.
Yeah.
It's the catacombs. And if anybody ever gets over there, you definitely got to go check it out. It's pretty wild.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous.
The catacombs.
Yeah, I want to go back.
Yeah,
But I've been to many places over the years. Like I said, my favorite places are going to hotels. Haunted hotels.
Okay,
staying
wait.
for the weekend.
What's your favorite place in the United States?
Yeah, that's what
In the United States, right now, probably Gettysburg is one of my favorites. Yeah. Because I've had more experiences and captured more things in the town. I've captured very little on the battlefield. I've captured more stuff in town and in the hotels that I stay than out on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And that's fine with me, too. But it's because that town accepts everything. I mean, it's all about ghosts, and it's so rich in history, you know.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I could go
It
on
is.
forever. You know what's crazy is, you would think because of what happened there, you would pick up a lot of residual stuff, but most of my evidence that I have gotten has been intelligent. Most of it's been intelligent.
99% of what I have is intelligent.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Those people are still there. They are still there, and I don't have a lot of residual.
Yeah, no, me neither. I mean,
And,
even
but
to
like I said, each time I go, I capture amazing things. You
Yeah.
know, it's
I would say
it's
one of
great
my
fun.
most favorite EVPs from there, and it's not even one of my most favorite EVPs would be I was at the 20th Main Monument, and thinking globally, not where I was at. I was thinking globally, so I'm like, "Are you from Pennsylvania?" And you hear, "No, Maine."
Oh wow!
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, there's so many. You go. The last time I went to Gettysburg, I actually planned a 5-day investigation, and we investigated for 5 days, and we traveled everywhere. And I still have over 40 files to go through from recording, but we've captured some crazy things there. And like I said, a lot of it's not on the battlefield.
Right.
Photos that we've captured are not from the battlefield; they're from the inns that we've stayed in, and the David Stewart Farm. Record a lot of things. Like I said, Jenny Wade house is very hard to investigate. When you do get in there to investigate, you don't capture a lot. But like I said, the thing I got that's most amazing is on that little $7 tour for the day, and captured that thing coming out the mirror. So you just never know with Gettysburg. When you least expect it, that's when things happen there.
So true. I love it.
Really is.
I just love it.
I mean, I would definitely love. I want to go to California. There's a lot of places out there I want to go. I want to go to Bodie, California, which is one of the most famous ghost towns that are still out there and exist. And that's a neat place.
What about Tombstone? Tombstone would be a cool place.
Tombstone is interesting, but I think Bodie would be even better because it's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's this ghost town that's still there. It's an old mining town that's just out in the middle of nowhere, and very haunted, very, very rich in history. So yeah, there's a ton of places I want to go to out there. So I'm hoping next year. Even want to do the Queen Mary. I'm not big on tourist spots, but that's one place I would like to investigate.
Mm. All right, well, it's time for us to...
You blew the candles out, I see that.
Oh, that was just like...
somebody just said Deadwood... I can't read it. What does it say?
South Dakota.
Oh, Deadwood, South Dakota. Wow, I never even thought of South Dakota.
Yeah, Deadwood's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, in the United States, we've got so many places. If we were all rich and we can be retired from our working jobs, God, we could just spend all our time traveling to different states.
Oh, that
So
would
many
be
places
awesome.
to go.
If I ever won the lottery, oh,
What's your favorite place in New Jersey? Because I don't know a lot about New Jersey.
favorite place in New Jersey would have to be, honestly, the center for where Beth works. Where Beth works.
Smudge.
It's called the Center for Life and Balance. It's in Medford.
Oh, okay.
We
Is that
had
where
it-
she runs her business?
Well, there's a bunch of practitioners in there, right, that do like
Okay.
healing and all this and that, and it's a historical building. And we had an event there to raise money, and literally got 43 intelligent EVPs.
Oh, wow.
Oh
That's
yeah.
really neat.
Every time we go there, we get some good stuff. So.
We didn't get a chance to talk about my friend Arlene Bice, who
Oh yes.
was from New Jersey. I haven't heard back from her yet, but Bordentown, right?
Yeah.
Bordentown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jersey?
Yep.
Yeah, super haunted. When I connect with her, I'll definitely send her your way because she was born and raised there and lived there for many years. She's an author, and she's written so many books about the different locations there that would be a great place for you guys to go check out. I'm sure there's a lot of places you can check out there,
Yeah, I would love to hook up with her. So just
Yeah.
let me know
Super
whenever.
nice lady.
Get us
Yeah, I will. As soon as I hear
connected.
from her.
All right, well, it's about that time, Michael.
Well, thanks again for having me on. I really enjoyed talking to you all and meeting everybody.
Yes, no, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
coming on.
much.
I'm sure we could talk for hours and hours, but
We will when we get to Gettysburg.
yeah, amen. Yeah,
I knew.
totally.
I'll definitely keep that in mind about going up there during that time, and we'll definitely hook up.
Yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
go and we can do a little investigating too while we're there.
Absolutely. I'm all about
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks, Mike, and I'm looking forward
Thanks
to seeing
again.
the
Nice meeting you,
show.
Anthony. Take care, Sabrina.
Thank you.
You
See
too.
ya.
Burned myself with wax.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah,
thank you very
absolutely.
much. Thank
We'll
you. Have a good night.
We'll have you on again.
You too. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, see ya.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
You too.
All right, so it was really cool though. He has
An hour and 40.
we miss you too.
No,
Um,
it's not. Hold on, 20.
Okay.
It was really cool how he still had his New York accent.
Yeah, I know you can hear that.
Yeah.
You can hear that.
He
So-
had his New York accent, but he also had a little bit of a southern.
Nothing phases him. I said, hey.
All right. Sorry.
I was like,
I'm having a flash, a hot flash.
Well, I'm hot too. Look at my cheeks.
jeez, look.
For what?
For
I don't
what?
know.
All right. So, okay.
All right.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say.
What?
What was I gonna say about
I
him?
don't know what you're gonna say. Oh, about him?
Yeah, no. No, but nothing phases him. I said.
Oh, yeah, you said nothing
He's in
phases
North
him.
Carolina because obviously I said, hey, look, the Christian group.
Right.
The a lot of very conservative out there.
Yeah.
They're not really pro
No, they're not.
paranormal. It's not like the most pro paranormal state in
Right.
this country. So, and he's just like, it didn't phase him. He's like, oh, I ain't no problem. I don't care. Like
Yeah.
that's what I felt. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Megan said can't lose that accent. Yeah, no,
I
I
know,
like, yeah.
yeah.
It's always there, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Look at me, y'all. That's Rob's fault. The y'all is Rob's fault. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Hopefully we can get, Mike said he has a friend of his that writes for like she's written about Bordentown, New Jersey and stuff like that. But we'll be on next week. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. We love you all. And thank you for comments and interacting. And Megan, I love you. And Sharon and everybody that joined us. Mike, thank you for coming on. And we will see you guys next week. Tina, everybody, thank you so much. Hope to see you guys soon. I'm coming out to Gettysburg for my birthday. But love you guys. D, love you, D. Everybody, Peace out.